And something else I do. Let me go back to the criteria and just see what's listed also.
Gotcha.
To kind of see what my competition is and see what how much I got to go against. All right, so there's 7 listed within 3/4 of a mile. So let's take a look at those. Tommytown is right around the corner from where I am. Oh, actually, I've passed this one to go to my house. This is on a quarter. Really, this is on a busy intersection. They just listed this recently for 165.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is good though. This is on crawl space. It's 250 square foot larger. I'm almost 1,800, so a couple hundred square foot larger for 165. So let me see how it looks.
Yeah.
It's neat. It's got a neat appearance from the outside.
And yours has siding as well.
Yeah, exactly. Mine's siding. Mine's kind of similar. This little subdivision has a lot of houses looking similar to this. So, yeah. I've got a big fenced-in yard. Okay. All right. Somebody's redone this too. Big den, carpet. They got granite. Kind of like mine. I've gone with more of the grays. Now what a lot of people are doing.
Right. And that may be. This one's redone.
Yeah.
Yours is redone. I think you told me on a previous video that you can't necessarily be the judge of.
Yeah. Right.
What looks better, because it could be the eye of the beholder.
Exactly.
But the point is they're both remodeled. They both have granite.
Yeah, exactly. This has got got big ceramic backs, but here we go. They put the carpet in here. I mean the hardwood in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So see, yeah. Yeah, they've done so. 165 it's listed for. So that's a good. I had thought 150 to 155 is what I would. So I might list it higher now. Seeing this.
Mm-hmm.
So anyhow, so that's a good.
So talk about the difference between something that's sold and something that's just listed.
Right. So you can't. This just gives me an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I can't put any. I can't use this for any kind of appraisal. Purpose, because it's just a listing, but it does give me an idea of what people are asking. And after looking at that other one that sold for $159,900, which is really about a block from this house, and seeing how it had a basement, but it wasn't updated on it. It sold for $159,000. I would imagine this will probably sell, just from looking at it, fairly quick too. But one thing is this sits on the corner of a busy. It's Mount Olive Road and Tommytown Road, and it's a nice house. But if that's a factor that some people are not going to live on that busy street. Mine is about 6 blocks down the street from this in a cul-de-sac, so that's probably
pretty desirable.
Yeah, right.
So we're sitting there obviously looking at the MLS, and no one, unless you're a realtor, you're not going to have access to this. Is there what kind of takeaways can we give, I guess, people that are watching this to where they can do this without access to the MLS? Or, can they go to Realtor.com?
I was going to say,
stuff that they can do?
Honestly, I'm not real knowledgeable only because I use MLS all the time. But I know that either Realtor.com and, the Zillows and the, what's the other, Trillia, and, whatever. They do have, you got to do some hunting, but they do have. It's not as accurate as MLS, but I have done that just to follow up on somebody because somebody said they saw it on Zillow. I said, all right, so I looked, and there are sales. You can plug in a certain section and get the sales on Zillow. But I guess probably the big thing, is trying to find out what's comparable out there. Not just comparing apples to apples. So if you're going to do a house, you're going to renovate it. You don't want to have, a 3,000 square foot house. Oh, you say, that one's sold down the street, but it's twice the size, or it's a lot newer, So that's probably the biggest thing they need to do is make sure that you're comparing apples to apples, at least as close as you can.
Even if it's not in the same subdivision, even if it's just a little bit further out.
Yeah, that's
it's more important as an appraiser, and if you're trying to price something, it's more important to find that crawl space.
I personally think it is. Now, you might throw in something because like that Jeffrey one, it's backs up to a couple blocks away from mine.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would put that if I was doing the appraisal on it. I would probably put that in there too, and just make an adjustment for the basement. But I would really try to find some crawl space, comps.
How far away will you go legitimately? If we're in an area like this, right. How far away would you legitimately go?
I try to keep everything under 2 miles, and there's different guidelines, and it depends on the banks will say, outlying areas you can go up to 5 miles, but it depends on what you call outlying. Here there's enough I think you can get within a couple miles, and the banks will be fine if you stay within a couple miles. Lenders are usually no problem with that.
Okay, so scenario, if we're talking about this situation right here. If you've got a house next door to yours that's on a basement, maybe a few hundred square feet, bigger, something like that, and it's got a unfinished basement, something like that, and 2 miles away, out of the subdivision, you've got a house that looks identical to yours.
Yeah. I would use both of them. I'm not going to ignore the one right next door. I mean, that if when you're doing the research, if you've got something, and that's why people, I did. I can't remember where it was, but just this last week, I did an appraisal, and the woman said, well, 2 houses on the street have sold. People just let them go. One was going through divorce, one was something else, and they let them go. She said, does that have an effect? It does. I mean, if you have 2 houses on your street that sold low, you can't ignore that, and that's why 6 months from now, they'll be gone, or a year from now, they'll be gone, and your value will come back up, but it does have an effect. So if I'd ignored the one right next door, I better have a good reason. Usually I'll say, this one sold, and I make a comment, it sold such a, however, I did not use it because it was so much larger, it was so much newer, or whatever the case may be.
Or it was just it was a foreclosure.
A foreclosure, exactly.
Or it was this,
but explain it, because usually an underwriter, they don't know, and they're going to look through it, and they're going to go, why didn't you use this? And you get those requests. I'll get a request back and say, why did you not use these comparables? And I have to explain. Yeah. So if I try to explain it beforehand, but yeah. So location does have a big effect, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's what, you can find a better comp farther away, then you're going to put that in there too. So, yeah.
So we did the physical inspection. You said that was the easy part. What makes this kind of harder? Just trying to do research and dig in, and it takes a little more time consuming?
It takes time because, you'll sit there and go through, and it might be, this area there weren't as many sales, but I might get into Crestwood or Homewood, and I might have 50 sales I want to go through, and I probably spend too much time, but I don't want to miss something. And so I'll end up looking at a lot of houses and go, okay. And it's just in narrowing it down. And then you might have a unique property. Sometimes, I've done, matter of fact, I'm looking at a 7,000 square foot house this afternoon. And sometimes those are very difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like trying to find, anyhow, so the research can sometimes be a lot more difficult. So
awesome. Yeah. Well, that's it.
Yeah, I think, that gives,
did I leave anything out?
No, I think, that gives people an idea, The only other thing I'd say is, if a lot of realtors are too busy to sit down with you and do this, but if you have a realtor that's hungry and is trying to learn, you guys can learn together, and have a realtor sit down and
how would you find, what steps would you take to find a realtor like that?
Asking around, calling around to, if you know any realtors yourself. A lot of times it's newer realtors that are just learning the business, and they need to, because a realtor that's been around for a bit, you just can't expect them they're not going to sit there for hours with you and do this and that, So, but if somebody's hungry, they'll want to learn, and it's a good way for them to learn too. Yeah. And they'll get your business, when you start buying.
That's right.
So, but, asking around, and probably if you called some offices that and saying, hey, talk to the broker. If you got somebody in there that is hungry,
that's a good idea.
Work for me, so work with me. So
yeah,
yeah. Cool. All right, I think that's it.
Thanks, Bruce.
All right, thanks, sir. All right.